Welcome to Awaken, Heal, and Thrive, the podcast that helps you awaken, heal, and thrive. I'm Benjamin Bernstein, your host, and this episode is brought to you by my new book called Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More. In fact, today's episode is a technique from that book. Every few episodes, I like to give you an experiential technique you can use on your own to do something awesome for yourself. And this one is called the Hollow Reed Invocation. Now, let me mention, I'm going to have you do the Embodied Awakening invocation as a prep to this. I'll be very brief about that invocation here, but if you want to go to the second episode of Awaken, Heal, and Thrive back in the archive, you'll find I give a very deep introduction to that, including an experiential guided meditation on it. So feel free to check that out if you want more detail on that. So what is a Hollow Reed invocation? A hollow reed invocation is where you act as a conduit, a pipeline, a hollow reed for highest good energy for someone or something else. So the idea is you at the ego level don't have to decide exactly what's coming through because you may not know exactly what that other person or situation needs, but your higher self definitely does. So you'll just ask for highest good energy to flow through you and relax and be passive, and it passes right through. And after I give you the intellectual framework, then we'll actually do it together. So I've just given you pretty much the intellectual framework. Like all of my invocations, which I detail in the book Instant Divine Assistance, this one is initiated by ego, but is actually done by higher self, and ego just passively lets it come through. So let's go ahead and get experiential. Oh, one last thing I'll mention in terms of details. You don't have to know what the recipient needs. And nothing is coerced here. So you can do this without getting permission from the person or situation first. And you also, as I said, don't have to know what they need because that's all taken care of by divine intelligence. So to start this, I'm going to have you get experiential with me now. And what I like to do whenever I do something in an invocation way is I like to start with embodied awakening, because if you're in embodied awakening, it's just easier. Once you're in that state, it's like super easy. I'm not going to go into all the nuances of that one. Let's just do it and kind of get that started, and then I'll show you how to be the hollow reed. So from here on, it'll be best if you give it your undivided attention. You'll have a better experience. So just as soon as you are in a space where you can give just a few minutes of your undivided attention, we'll move forward from here. So I invite you to close your eyes and just become aware of your whole body at once. However it feels is fine. And then if you have any awareness of the subtle energy in or around you, just feel that too. And just tune into how that feels. And you're getting your baseline. So as I said, we're not going to do embodied awakening in a nutshell. That's just you're going to ask your higher self to merge with you in your human body to the greatest extent that serves highest good. You'll only get as much as you're ready for. It's perfectly safe. So let's start with that. And so now repeat after me, but speaking to your higher self: maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. Now that you've said the 8 words, let them go and become completely passive. You may already be feeling energy moving. So if you have conscious awareness of energy moving in your body, just passively allow it to work. This is your higher self responding to your invocation. Eyes closed is best here, by the way. And just relax, and as long as you feel energy coming in, just passively let it come in. And at some point it will top off, and then you'll feel, rather than an inflow, you'll feel a sense of equilibrium or stasis. And I'm going to keep going. What I'm experiencing myself right now is the average of what whoever's going to do this will experience, and that will let me know how long I should let this go. So it feels like it's kind of stabilizing out here. So once the invocation has run its course, if you're fully in embodied awakening, all the following will be true. No mental chatter, no challenging emotion, peaceful and effortless. So if you're there, then just that's great. You're in the space. I'm going to go on to the hollow reed now. If you need a little more time for that embodied awakening invocation to work, feel free to pause this podcast and then play again when you have either gotten to embodied awakening or you sense that's as far as I'm going to get. You don't have to be all the way in, just as much as close as you can get is great. So I'll assume now that you've paused if you needed to, and you're now either in embodied awakening or you've gotten as close as you can. Again, for more details on that embodied awakening invocation, listen to the second episode of the Awaken, Heal, and Thrive podcast. All right. So now you need to decide what you're sending energy to. This can be one person, it can be a group of people, it can be a situation, it can be many situations. If you're just learning this, it's simplest to start with one person and a person that you like or love. So just get that person in your mind. Who's it going to be? And now that you've selected your recipient, we're now going to do the process. So I will just take you right in and guide you as we go. So you're, again, going to speak to your higher self. When you do invocations, if you can say them out loud, that's great. If you would rather do it mentally, that still works just fine. Spoken word has a little bit more power, but mental works just fine. So here we go. Repeat after me. Spirit that I am, please flow the energy through me to serve, and here put in the name of the person you're sending it to, highest good. Starting now, thank you. And that's all the words. Now relax. Just come to passivity. And you may already have a sensation that energy is coming into you, probably through your crown, and is flowing out to that person through the front of your body. Here's the cool thing. You don't have to do anything actively. Here's what you don't do. You don't visualize. You don't have to put your hands up. You don't have to do any imagining or visualizing. Your human self is relaxing. You're just a passive piece of pipe now, and your higher self is flowing energy through you to your chosen recipient. So I recommend just getting really relaxed and passive. Again, if you have awareness of energy flowing through you to that person, just passively feel it happening. If you don't have that awareness, that's fine. Just feel your breath come and go passively. And with these invocations, the more passive your ego stays, the better they work. Your higher self is doing it through you, but the ego is not doing it itself. Because the higher self is the party that knows exactly what that person needs. Not only that, as the energy goes over to that person and their field starts shifting because of that, what they need will shift in real time. The variables that could be in play at any given moment are the color of the energy, the level or levels it's coming from, any additional divine beings your higher self has called in to assist, and all that can change on the fly as the Hollow Reed Invocation proceeds. And that's a lot for an ego to keep up with, so don't even try. Just be the passive pipe, just feel energy if you can, feel breath if you can't, and know that your higher self is already connected with the higher self of the person you're sending to, and they, between the two of them, are working out all the details, and the energy is constantly modulating on the fly as this flow proceeds. Many people, when they start doing this, they have an I-thou perception. I feel myself as separate. I have a sense of a flow going to the other person that is the recipient. If you're a little deeper in your awakening or you get better at this, you may have the experience of merging with the person you're sending to. There may be a sense of blending with rather than flowing to, and that's even better if that happens. Don't force it, but just celebrate it if it does happen. And again, no effort from your ego, just let it flow. And as I said before, highest good will be done. If you just use the words I said and just ask for highest good energy, then they'll absolutely get what they need. Should it happen that it's not even appropriate for you to be sending to them, then no energy will flow in the first place. So there's absolutely no danger of interfering with their karma or incurring bad karma for yourself when you just say highest good energy. Okay, it feels like that's enough time for you to have a sense of how that works. Now, now say Higher self, please stop the flow. And now just feel yourself. See, having been the channel through which the energy flowed, do you feel any different now? A lot of times when I work with private clients, they'll say, oh, I send energy to so-and-so, and I always feel so depleted and drained afterward. If that's happening, it's because they're sending their personal energy, which is not what's happening here. Your ego's energy, your human's energy is not being used at all. You're just a pipeline for divine energy. So if you've done it in this way, chances are you'll feel better. You might feel a little more awakened. You might feel a little more blissful or euphoric for having been the channel through which the energy flowed. When you flow highest good, you actually get a separate stream for yourself on the spot. So two things are happening simultaneously. Yes, you are being the hollow reed for the energy flowing to the other person, but you're also receiving highest good energy for yourself just because you're doing this. And usually you'll end up feeling even better than when you started. It's one of the best ways to feel better, actually, is to flow highest good energy to someone or something else. So just check your own status and see, how do I feel? Do I feel the same, better, worse? What's my actual experience of my post-flow experience? Okay. And again, there's a whole chapter in my book, Instant Divine Assistance, on this invocation. So if you want more granular detail and more nuance about it, then get that book. Again, it's on Amazon. I think right now the ebook is $2.99. If you want the paperback, it's a little more, but get whichever version pleases you. And there's tons more beyond this technique in there, but this is one of the cool techniques that it covers. I'd like to close this episode by actually sending energy to you. The cool thing is we're not restricted by time and space in the usual ways. So I have no idea who you are, maybe, but I can still, through this podcast, send you some highest good energy. So if you're willing to receive it, I invite you to just relax and be passive. And just, again, start by feeling your energy as it is, because I want you to feel afterward if you feel any different. So just get your baseline now. How do I feel physically and energetically? And just to be clear, my hands are going to be palm down on my thighs. I'm not going to do any, palm pointing or anything, because that's totally not needed here. So let's see what happens. So relax and tune into your energy. Let's see what happens here. Spirit that I am, please flow the energy through me to the person who is watching this podcast or video right now. Thank you. And I definitely feel energy flowing. So if you feel energy coming in, just relax and let it come. And I'll just stay with this until I feel the energy wrap itself up. Usually with a flow like this, the energy will, kind of stop flowing when it's done. Okay, it's slowing down. Okay, that's done. And again, just to be clear, I was not visualizing, I wasn't imagining, I wasn't making anything happen from Benjamin, my ego. Benjamin just relaxed after he spoke, and the higher self took care of everything. So now close your eyes and see, do you feel any different? Did you in fact receive that energy that was coming through the pipeline? And you'll be able to tell by any difference in how you feel. Okay, so that's this episode. Again, the whole point here was to introduce you to the Hollow Reed Invocation out of my book, Instant Divine Assistance. Give you everything you need to do it right now. And you don't have to buy the book to do it. You can just fire it up if you want to, but the book has tons more info that might be helpful. And I hope that was helpful. I'd love your feedback. If you want to pop me an email, benjamin@astroshaman.com, and let me know how that went. Or if there's a way to, like if this is a video you're watching, put a little note in the video, however you do it. But I'd love your feedback on what your experience was with that. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Awaken, Heal, and Thrive. We come out every week on Tuesday, and I really appreciate you being here. Many blessings to you. If you enjoyed this podcast, you might also like my free online mini course. It's called Instant Divine Assistance, your free guide to fast and easy awakening and healing. It'll teach you how to invoke your own embodied awakening and healing and put it all into a simple daily practice. You can also check out my best-selling book that develops these ideas further. It's also called Instant Divine Assistance. In its first week, it hit number 1 on Amazon in 11 categories and has tons of 5-star reviews. Finally, I have an online membership called Awakening Plus, where you can significantly speed up your spiritual evolution. Its slogan is also the name of this podcast: Awaken, Heal, and Thrive. You'll find links to all this wonderful stuff in the show notes.